Namaste and good afternoon. I wanted to let people know that counseling work with spirits on the other side has opened up again. And we haven't done this work. I work with Guru Swamiji in working with spirits that have passed to the other side. We have not done this work for about a year and a half now. Um, and it just has opened up again, and we really don't know how long it will last, how often we'll do it. There may just be a few videos there, and then it will peter out, or it may go on here and there for a while. It's just unknown, really. So, any that are interested in that kind of thing are welcome to go to Guru Swamiji's site and look at her and find it there. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit more about how this work happened, so that people can understand a little bit about the history. Um, so I know it sounds odd to many, but the spirits and that energy does enter into a rock or a stone there that we have. We have quite a few of those. And how it came about was not just about, putting up a plan to do that, but there was, and I have a pendulum here to show you that there was these are something that just can sense energy and answer questions and things. And it's not something I use much or often or anything like that. They are handy tools in many ways if one does use it and use it wisely. But what was noticed one day, and I was at Guruji's, I was just using it here and there to ask questions about diet or vitamins, that kind of thing. Um, and there was one that was held that just felt so heavy. I mean, there's no way you could miss it. It was heavy, beyond words, really, from what a little pendulum could be. And we did end up asking it some questions, and it did turn out that there was a spirit in there that had some past life issues to clear. The way that we asked the questions then were just the pendulum would um, move one direction for yes and the other for no. So, for instance, the way this one works, and it's interesting with these pendulums too, because they will react to something that's more heart based, more spiritual, there'll be movement. And if it's something that's more of a dead weight or something that is not, just doesn't have that kind of activity there, it will do nothing. So I can just show you the way it moves here, and you can see it turns in one direction, and I'm going to show that my hand is not moving. I know it looks like it the way that the pendulum is going, but it isn't moving. I'm holding it very still, my hand. And then what happens, it will stop, go a little bit back and forth, and start going to the center and going the other way, which does indicate balance. And it will continue to do this actually. So this is one way, and again, I'm not advocating pendulums, but just it says something about energy to look at it and listen about it. So there it's going the other way, and it will continue. And literally anywhere on this form that will happen. I don't care if it's my toe, so you can just go and then it will stop and it will turn. And you can see how it has been activated now. There is that energy there that you could see that when I was holding it, it's completely still. I mean, the computer's here, so it's just not reacting then. And just to give you another example, to hold up a few things, something more neutral. So here's something neutral. Glass says nothing, you see. It's not going to react to that. I mean, it's just nothing that carries that energy. And then we can choose something, and this is, let me see, I've got so many possibilities around here. But this is, let me grab this spiritual book of Ashtavakra Gita, and it will really get moving. You can see how it's just moving, and you know, it's showing, it's filled with that heart and beauty. I don't think I'm holding this one right. I'm not used to this one so much. And then it will stop as it does that I showed you in terms of balance. So it's going to start up again now. The other way, showing that this book is very balanced in the heart, very good. And then I will just pick up another book that this is just a basic book called The Girls of Riyadh. Not a spiritual book at all as far as I know. And, you know, we'll hold it there and it does nothing. Well, you can see that. You know, and there's also in terms of any questions, you know, like for instance, certain things you can hold up and it will just react to it. For instance, we can see if water, and with here, in terms of the way the energy reacts, for yes, it's circular, for no, it's this way. So when we hold it up to water, we can see is this, and really what it is in terms of, is this particular thing good for this body, you know? And you don't even have to say that. It's like if that energy is there. For instance, let's say that I hold it up and that energy is there within me to know, is this good for me? It's saying, yes, it's quite good for you. I mean, we all need water, right? And if I hold it up to it without that feeling there, let's see what happens. So I don't even care if it's good for me or not. I'm just going to hold the pendulum up there. Nothing. So there is that. And again, it doesn't have to be said, but you can see how energy works when that heart is there, how it actually activates things and moves things compared to if not. An interesting thing, these pendulums were, maybe this one will be more cooperative now, but when we were working with the spirits, a lot of times the spirits would get in these pendulums and just hang heavy, like I said. Sometimes some of them were mischievous or deceptive spirits, so at times when we used these pendulums, it didn't always give us the answer that was in alignment with reality, with what's there. So there was a lot of troubles, you know, as well as with these pendulums, if there is a response to it, the universe, of course, is changing moment to moment. So then that could be true in this hour, the next hour different, as things are in flux so often. So, and again, I'm not advocating these pendulums, but what I'm doing is trying to describe what was happening, the nature of energy a little bit, from what can be seen and visualized, and you know, as well as how this work got started. So when we did see these, feel these spirits in the pendulum, and seemed like they had questions in there, and we would ask them the questions, and the pendulum would turn, you know, turn in circles or this way for yes or no, and then we would get our answer of how to proceed. So Guruji had the compassion, and she is the one that she sensed what they like to go in these kinds of things. Why they can enter into a stone. And so we gathered a lot of different crystals or different stones just at some of the New Age shops. And we did find that happened because kind of opening the door to that, because what we found was that their issues and their problems were no different than those in body. And many did not have a link to spirit in a way because they had shut that off. And so they had these energetic patterns in there for good or bad, which is really like vasanas that continued. And so they, if they had blocked out the light, for instance, had guilt, a lot of heaviness that they had passed away with, these things continued until they actually did the work of opening and things. And so, Guruji had given them, when we worked with them, different tools to help them move through this, whatever is happening, if they are willing and their heart is open. And again, what I've noticed with these pendulums, you really need an open heart. Like, I know it sounds as silly as if you don't have an open heart to want to eat zucchini, then it probably will not say that's okay. Not that if you open your heart to everything, it'll work. That's not true either. But a lot of this stuff has to do with, that connecting up is keeping open. But so here, what was noticed, and I have had visions and hearing things for really since I was young. And so a lot of it has come in terms of, here it's more of a translator for spirit is where what, how it plays out. And then Guruji gives the wisdom since she is completely, has gone the whole of the journey. So it's a nice blend. Last time when we were doing it, and this is why it stopped, a lot of the spirits, there may be people not even interested in this. It's totally fine. Others, maybe if they have seen some of those videos or have no clue, it's up to you if you want to hear this or not. But they would, there was a lot of spirits wanting to come back to my place and follow me. So these visions continued 24/7, as well as feeling spirits and seeing them and knowing, in terms of them being there and, adorning this form, not in bad ways, but, and no matter what was said or even the mantra, that continued. So that was not always easy. And I actually had one that got in this pendulum that was so stubborn, and it didn't matter what I asked. They did not want to leave my side. They did not want to leave from this pendulum. That was something about a past life that they wanted to connect in again through me. They were determined beyond belief. No matter what was said, that would not. So when I came home, I actually set this pen. I believe I set it down. I don't remember. But when I was in somewhere else in my place, and I've never had this happen this way, just this once, and it hasn't happened again. But, I know some people that they say they sense spirits around them or ghosts or that energy. That's what was happening. I felt it there. It was almost gets in you like an amoeba. You could just feel it in you. And this particular energy wanted to stay with me to connect up with this other situation, or, that's really all I want to say from a past life through me. And it took a while. It was really it wasn't fun feeling, kind of made your skin crawl, and it's certainly not something you want. And I could tell the difference between that and, the other spirits that were around trying to offer. It wasn't that way of feeling like it's all over you like that. But anyway, I did do some mantras, which is something that helped, as well as put this pendulum in my closet here and right near Guruji's picture too. And I was able to sleep for the night, and it was okay. And then we continued working with it and you really had to get it to leave after that. So anyway, those were a lot of the stubborn spirits we would work with prior to actually clearing the way for the work. But anyway, it has opened up again, and it's a different feeling now, very much so. I mean, before, when it was happening, it was during the blood moon, and a lot of energy was about then. So it's not like that. Certainly there's energetically, obviously, I'm sure people are quite aware in the universe now is quite a feeling to it of that moon seemed to open up some kind of window. Doesn't mean that those opportunities are not still available at all times, and that refreshment of spirit, that's 24/7. That will never go away. But there was a different energy. So the visions are not as sharp and clear. They're definitely hazier. They do get illuminated a little bit more sometimes. So overall, it's seeing the vision a little bit hazier. I can still feel every aspect of that vision, as well as a lot of playing out of, um, kind of playing out. There's some speaking for spirit. I hate to call it channeling. I know channeling has a different feeling a little bit, where it seems to bubble up and engulf you fully. Fortunately, this time it's not felt that way. It's felt like it's more lighter. Even if it comes out, the story is heavy for this particular spirit, and it seems to just be there in terms of what they're saying, what they're feeling, what they're hearing, what they're needing, and those words will be spoken. Again, with spirit language, it is very simple, sometimes using one word rather than a full paragraph, using at times a demonstration with, just hand on the heart, ear listening. So basic. I mean, it's just, that's what I really appreciate about spirit language, is how basic and simple, without clutter. No way one can miss it, what's being said, really. So that is still there in the same way. The stories are certainly the same, the struggle, the fear of that folks have, and also there's always, there's laughter too, and there is a sense of humor within the spirit world. 100%. It's no different. So I do feel more settled this time with it. Fortunately, I'm not being pestered by a lot of the spirit stuff. The visions are here and there. I mean, I get those anyway, so that's not a huge thing, but it's much different than before. It is a bit draining, but not in a bad way. It's fine. And again, I don't even know how long it will last or anything, but I did want to let people know about that, if they are interested, to explain it and describe it a little bit. So when we are in there, Guruji will pick up a stone. This is how it's being done this time, and she'll get a sense of things and then hand it to me, where that translation of spirit language comes forward. And then, she might take that stone again, which holds that energy, and give it the whatever tools, mantras, or heart energy, basically transmission things, to help it to move along if it's willing. A lot of them have a lot of work to do, and then of course there's the others on the other side that are there, that we link up with, like a bridge, really, in with the same heart, though. With here, Mary is, and I know, again, I think for some it might be have seen visions of Mary. I'm sure that happens. It was never anything that I cultivated ever, or said the prayers to Mary, ever. But it has come, and it's quite an energy that's there. So that Mary energy does enter in. How do I know? Well, definitely I see her. And with Christ, I've seen him. I've seen these personages that enter, and they're there in form, but you can feel their heart, and which is the same. The Mary has a mother-loving energy that has undergone that kind of sacrifice and suffering, surely in terms of her son, but she imparts knowledge with in the freshest, ripest, I want to say like a white linen cloth or a something unsoiled, and imparts knowledge in whatever way that particular energy needs to hear it. And before it was very tough, a lot of tough love, and we don't know what might happen again. And again, we don't even know if we'll be doing this again. But in terms of seeing these visions, and I have seen her, she's been around, again, when I do those sessions, it's not always like, okay, I do them for an hour and then I'm done. I have to say I wish, I'm kind of envious of that, but it doesn't happen that way. Or even when I wasn't doing the sessions, this is ongoing 24/7, this kind of hearing spirit or messages. And of course, there's the stillness, there's the samadhi states. It's really part of the journey. And I believe there was someone on the other side asking, would you still be psychic after enlightenment? I don't know if that was for me specifically, but what I can say without the very crisp, clear visions that have happened, it's still there. And I would imagine when the mind, this is something that I know has been there for lifetimes, and even when that is gone, their mind is completely still. I would feel, at least in my heart, that it's not going to be, it will be different and yet the same. And that truly it doesn't matter. I just am addressing that because someone had asked that. But the truth is that in terms of having psychic abilities is not anything that I ever thought would happen, or the spirit translator. I almost want to call it that too, because that feels so right too. It's not anything that was cultivated. It's been here a long time, actually, and it's being expressed now in hopes that so it's not anything to cultivate, is my thing that I'm saying, and it doesn't bring. I mean, again, I don't know. I'm not saying that in itself will never bring peace. That in itself will never bring liberation. It's not anything that matters in the long run. But the thing is that now the hope is, the way that is being worked is that there is a possibility of it helping humanity or the spirits, and also, with Guruji, with her wisdom and all of her life's work, it's definitely celebrated there. They're very, at least today, it was so nice because they called her the starlight to follow. And with here, it was more, spirit that's really lived here. It's tasted, it's heard, it's drunk in, it's lived in every cell and every breath, and that's that's it. So right now we're a team in that way, and who knows again what will take place in the future with this, or if it will ever come again. I never thought it would, even now. So, this is it. If you do end up watching those videos, have some patience if you are interested. The wisdom, they tend to, it's not a typical entertainment that it's quick and things are happening. In terms of entertainment, it's got its own flow to it with each spirit energy, and its own wisdom that bubbles up, and it takes a little time, and then it seems to just really flower, very unique in a way, and yet the same. And again, the main thing is to see that these vasanas, these struggles, whatever people hold, live on, and without truly, this is again why the pointing is to, while you can now and are in body, is the best time to work with going inward, clearing out these energies in whatever way. Stay in the heart. Don't play with things. Let it come in its own time through graces unfolding, which doesn't have anything to do with ego. devotion, opening the heart, prayer, sacrifice. These are things that matter so much, and gosh, we need it now in the world. We need more and more and more of souls to enter, to go inward and not be so distracted by all that's around and get angry and me against them. And all of that is just so pointless. Beyond words. I mean, let us all live. Let us live in harmony and peace and flower that way. And the main way to do that is to do that within your own soul. So this sounds like that's about it. It came out just to let you know where things stand. There's also stilling here, there's settling, there's, all of those states that were described, and fluidity to all of that. And again, we keep going step by step, and eventually until we're done. Hooray. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day, and I'll talk with you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.